Microsoft wants to bring SteamOS level of gaming performance to Windows 11 while cutting back AI bloat with their K2 project. This came out on the 29th. And as I was scrolling through, basically, here's what they said. It said gamers are a key part of the Windows 11 ecosystem. And for this, Microsoft is said to view SteamOS as the benchmark. Microsoft is working to optimize the performance to match the same levels as SteamOS and has internally estimated to outperform the operating system in 2 years. Okay, so number one, if Microsoft is actually saying that, hey, SteamOS is making games run better than Windows, thank God that they saw the videos and have finally understood what we've all been saying for a really long time. You know, honestly, I can't. Every time I see benchmarks that show that Linux is outperforming Windows, I'm blown away by that because it's going through a translation layer before we actually get to run it. But we usually get a few frames per second better. And that's awesome. Like, I think it's absolutely great. Russ, what do you think about that sentence that they want to optimize to match SteamOS? You think they can do it?
You know, it's always, I always have the same thing to say, which is just like, it feels like a stack of applications. You know, when you're using Windows, is you've got all that old tech. You know, a good example actually came today where I was talking to one of the guys who does like, he does inputs for the SDL community, the people that make like the controller configurations and how it works with firmwares and stuff. So this is a guy I've known for a long time. He always hits me up when he sees a new controller review. He's like, hey, can you send me the SDL codes for this one? So he gives me an app, and then I go and I push all the buttons and I send him the log. And that's how he helps like open source, like stuff like that. Anyway, so I was talking to him this morning after this video, and he was like, yeah, you can't trust any of the applications to do gamepad testing with, like the ones that are in browsers or anything else, because they have their own layers of complication. He's like, you've got to use the old school joypad driver Windows application, which is in the console settings. And he gave me a run command to try in Windows. And sure enough, there's just some random controller, like it just lets you know whether or not you have a controller connected. And it's this little old like Windows 98 box that comes up, you know. And so imagine all the thousands of other little boxes that are available within Windows, and all that's running at the same time as you're doing everything else. And I get it. That old app was super handy today because I could tell definitively at the Windows level that it was not detecting the Steam machine as a gamepad. Like I could just see that instead of having to start up a game and see whether or not the controls work. Like I could just see that it doesn't see a gamepad here.
Right. It's a mouse and keyboard, right?
Yeah, it's a keyboard trackpad is what they're seeing, right? And so that was very useful, and it's not something that I want to get rid of, but at the same time, like I also want to get rid of bloat on the Windows, and I want it to be snappy and intuitive and console-like. And so I don't know, do they need to splinter it, you know, and make a mouse and keyboard OS and make a controller one, or what do they need to do? I'm not really sure. So I'm glad they're looking at it and they're trying. I don't know if they can do it, but yeah, at least try.
Alan, you think they can do it?
No. I mean that with love. I don't think so. Part of the problem, I think, is they need to figure out what they're doing in the first place. I mean, they have a benchmark. That's great. They say, 2 years, we're going to beat it. That might be marketing fluff right now because of how bad, Xbox is doing. And arguably Windows gaming in general, just the reputation around that. And even with the financial numbers that came out the other day. But I don't know, like there's so much going on with Windows. It just seems it's going to be very hard to debloat, to worry about AI breaking things with the AI coding they've been rumored to be doing in the background. And that's not a shot against AI, but I mean, if you're having AI code things, good luck. It's going to introduce problems. I'm curious to see the direction they end up taking and what they end up figuring out for Windows gaming. Like, I'd almost argue they need a whole other operating system just for Windows gaming and just calling it something completely different. Or maybe even calling it Windows gaming, but just having a complete other operating system as a branch of Windows, as opposed to trying to do everything with one operating system. Because as soon as you do that, You don't need all those printer drivers for gaming. You don't need all the bloat in the background that they've got, all the legacy applications to support a million different things. You just need something to be able to run games, and the bare minimum in terms of what they need. I thought they had a head start with this, with the Xbox Ally, like the game mode they have there to cut down on some of the RAM that was used. But at the same time, I mean, even that is like, they made some recent improvements, but it's still got a ways to go. Like that's been out for a while now. It just seems that Microsoft is going in a bunch of different directions, and I don't know. I don't know if they have the manpower to be able to pull this off or not, but I have my doubts.
I'm 100% sure they have the manpower. I'm not 100% sure they have the willpower. This was just a small part of my podcast, the Nerd Nest podcast. And if you enjoyed it, then do me a favor and click on that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, then I think you should check out the link in the description down below the like button. It's going to take you to the full podcast, so you can check out the entire conversation and a whole lot more. If that sounds good, I hope to see you over there. Stay rad, and thanks for watching.